All right, what is up, Utah fans? This is Joseph back with the Utah Utes Football Digest, and it is good to be with you guys tonight. What an exciting time to be a Utah fan. Seriously, recruiting is going nuts. There is so much to be looking forward to if you're a Utah fan, and I'm excited to fill you guys in if you haven't been keeping up. It's kind of funny. I can see how if you're not really on Twitter, you might not, or X, whatever you want to call it, you might not keep up with just how wild the recruiting buzz is getting around Utah right now. And recruiting is just such a fun topic, right? It's kind of like draft talk when you're an NFL fan. It's just such promising players that could go to your team, and it's very exciting. Kaya says, "What up, Broseph? What up, man?" Jimmy Emerson says, "What's up? Go Utes. What is up, dude? Go Utes." And as we dive in, guys, it's going to be a fun night. We'll have at least one guest that is a committed player to Utah joining us this evening to come on and talk about why he chose Utah. We'll also be breaking down the guys that visited last weekend and kind of what went on there. We'll also talk about the players, from the visit that are really buzzing. There's one big one that I think we're all thinking about that might be committing to Utah very soon. We'll also do a quick recap of any guys that did just visit that did commit, and we'll be looking at the guys that are visiting this upcoming weekend. Seriously, guys, it's going to be a great time. And if you appreciate, putting this show together and getting some guests for you guys, that sort of deal, please make sure you guys do smash that like button. It goes a long ways. Also, comment down below. I think the number one question on everyone's mind right now, I'm just going to transition into this topic since I think it kind of leads that direction naturally, is Jerome Myles, guys. I'm going to put it up on the screen. Actually, no, I'm going to pull up his Twitter page. I think that makes a little more sense. Make sure you guys smash that like button. But what I want to know in the comments, if you're watching before or after, is what are the odds that Jerome Myles commits to Utah? I'm going to pull up his Twitter page because I want everyone to see what's going on here. If you're not on Twitter, you probably don't know just how heated this whole Jerome Myles to Utah conversation is really getting. Let's zoom in a little bit here. Okay, so Jerome Myles, 5-star wide receiver, just a monster. This kid's, I think he's 6'3", 6'3", 220, and he runs a 10.36. Just to give you guys an idea, that's probably one of the most athletic people you can imagine. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that's like DK Metcalf level stuff. 6'3", 220, and you run a 10.36. That is, if you guys don't follow track, 10.36 is flying. So we're talking about a super athletic specimen in Jerome Myles. And let me touch on it real quick, guys. 5-star wide receiver. And let's go ahead and walk back this timeline. You can see here. So I'm going to point this out. This is from today, right? This is in power cleaning, 305 pounds. The guy is 6'3", 220 pounds, runs a 10.36 100-meter dash, and he can power clean 305 pounds. All that as a junior in freaking high school, guys. This is a freaking animal. Revolio Clockberg says 82.5% commitment. So he's feeling really good that Jerome Myles is going to commit to Utah. I want to hear what you guys think. What are the odds Jerome does commit to Utah? What are the odds that does happen? So take a look at this post. I want you guys to notice something. So he says PR 305. That's referring to how much he just power cleaned. But then look at the first name he tagged. Take a look at the screen, guys. Alvis James Whitted is the first guy he tagged. And where does Alvis James Whitted coach? The University of Utah. I do want to give myself a little shout out. Look who else he tagged in there. Sometimes I wonder if the players tag me because they think it's the Utah football page. But Jerome does follow me, so I'd be surprised if he didn't know that it was this page. So super cool, guys. But that's wild, guys. The first person he tagged before Lane Kiffin and before all the Ole Miss football stuff was the Utah wide receivers coach. I mean, just wild. KS says, I don't know how stoked I'll be if the Utes get him. Been a long time coming. I could only imagine what the Utes could do with consistent top 15 classes. Yeah, guys, this would be such a glass shattering moment if we get him. KS also says, dude's a monster. And it really feels real. Let's continue to go back through the timeline here, guys. So he makes this post the other evening, gets 1.5 thousand likes, tons of retweets, right? He's an animal. And then he also made an Instagram post that was taken off where it showed a picture of a little kid wearing Utah stuff, and it showed, I think, just the main video, the same one you're seeing on Twitter. I think that's all that was in the Instagram post. But you keep going here. There's a quote somewhere down here. Let's see if we can find it. Maybe it's not in here. Oh, by the way, he also runs a 4.48. So such an athletic monster, guys. So with it though, he said in his comments, I think it was to 24/7, or it's this guy Blair Angulo. Is he 24/7? Not sure who he works for, but I saw the other day that there was a post that said, I really only had one question for him. This was in regards, and I'm paraphrasing here, but this was in regards to the possibility of him committing to Utah. And he said, I really only had one question for him. They answered it. And I don't know exactly what else he said. So that's good. Like something along those lines, guys. But just to give you an idea, where the signs are pointing hard. I'm going to give you guys my take on whether or not I think he's going to commit. I think it's coming, guys. And I'm not saying it's 100% chance. And I don't know, maybe Revolio Clockberg at 82.5% is a little high. Do I feel that confident? No. But I'm going to go out there and say I feel better than not that he will commit to Utah. I think it's 60-40 that he's going to flip to Utah. And I think for sure right now, if he's going anywhere, he's going to Utah. And guys, we just talked about the measurables on this freaking kid. Oh my goodness, dude. What an animal. This kid would be a huge get. J Spider Flash mentions in the comments, first 5-star we'll get. This would be our first ever 5-star recruit. This would be a huge deal, guys. This would be one of the best. This would be the best incoming player according to the rankings that Utah has ever gotten, and by a pretty decent margin, right? Brian says, so much irony if he were to commit and have Utah with their first 5-star as a wide receiver. Good to see you, Brian. But yeah, how funny would that be? The position we've kind of, not done the best job with as of late would be at least I don't think it's been terrible. We've developed some receivers, but you think about it, we're definitely known for other positions. It would be funny to see our first big time 5-star player be a wide receiver. Pac-12 Pilgrim, that's Larry Pilgrim. Both these guys, Larry Pilgrim and Brian Ankrum, are content contributors for the channel. Great guys. I'm excited to get the season rolling again and have you guys back making videos and doing videos with me. Larry says, little late, go Utes. Larry's in Florida, so that's probably why he's saying that. It's probably staying up. He's barely keeping those sleepy eyes open, just trying to watch the recruiting video. All right. So that's all I'm going to touch on with Jerome Myles, but I did want to just kind of bring that up and make sure everyone's aware. The idea, if you're not on Twitter, you might not be following this quite as much. The idea that Jerome Myles is coming to Utah is not just real, but like Revolio mentioned, it's 82.5% in his mind. And like I mentioned, I think it's better odds than not that Jerome does come to Utah. It's really feeling that way. And I know that's a subtle thing, what I mentioned about him tagging Alvis Whitted before anyone else. But I mean, isn't that a sign to you guys? I mean, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. But you add all the other stuff in, and then you add the fact that he's tagging Whitted first. It's feeling good. It's feeling really good, guys. Very good. But we had a bunch of recruits come over to Utah over the weekend, a ton of talent. Let me put that up on the screen for a minute here. And like I said, we are going to have a Utah commit, at least one, hop on for the live stream today. So that should be awesome. But you see here, guys, over the weekend, we had a bunch of great players come to Utah. Vander Plug, Dehi Ahose, which I think we got a real shot at both those guys. Houston Torres, Joseph Albright, and Max Fanoy Moana. Max Fanoy Moana out of Kahuku High School in Hawaii. Big time player, guys. Big athletic guy. He still needs a bit of development, but he has the size already, and he can come in and quickly become a playmaker. He's following his brother Brock Fanoy Moana's footsteps. It's a big time get to me. We made a recruiting video about it. He was nice enough to do a little video for the channel. Super cool kid. So that's one of the commits we got over the weekend. And then Kaimana Carvalho, that's another guy that would be following in his brother's footsteps, I believe. So that'd be a big get too. Get that family pipeline. I think Utah does such a great job of that, just continuing to get the guys that are a part of the same families. Right here, Jay Spider Flash said he asked if we were passing the ball more. I think he's referring to Jerome Myles. I doubt that was the question that he asked, but funny. Steven Palomares, I think that's how he's Palomares, maybe. 70% yes, 30% not. So you're kind of with me where it's like, yeah, I'm definitely leaning to the fact that he will be a Ute, but something that's never happened before, until you see it happen, it's hard to fully buy in. And there's been no hard statements from Jerome that he's going to be a Ute. But I will say I can't reveal everything that I know, but I've got some good feelings coming out about this one. So I feel good that Jerome Myles could definitely be a Utah Ute. And then right here, we've got let me just message someone back. All right. Okay, so Plug is definitely a possibility according to Pac-12 Pilgrim. That's exciting. Plug is a monster tight end, guys. He was one of the guys we were just looking at. So I will point out something. So Iosi Epinesa, and it seems from the vibe I get from him from watching him from afar, he doesn't even have a Twitter. His dad kind of posts on Twitter for him. It seems like he likes to work in silence. So we haven't heard much from that visit. But I would also say, I think if we were hearing stuff offline from the media outlets, they would be making a bigger buzz about IOC. So it's kind of weird. It was funny. I remember on the channel last week, everyone was talking about they felt really good about us getting IOC Epinesa. But it seems like after the weekend, the buzz about us possibly getting IOC Epinesa is dying down, and the buzz about us getting Jerome Myles is exploding. We also had Aaron Dunn, an offensive tackle out of Spanish Fork. That's my neck of the woods. He didn't commit to Utah, but he did visit over the weekend. And it seems from what I'm hearing that he is very interested in Utah. And I would imagine Utah is going to be interested in him as well. So one little funny change here, Jaden Baker, I don't think him or Semi Tualanga was listed as a visit when we did the video last week. Nusi was, but these two weren't. So more players visiting. Very cool there. And then we'll talk about next week's visits here in a minute. If you guys haven't already, follow the Twitter page. It really is a great time. I love Twitter, and it's really just for football. I don't know about you guys. There's nothing else I do on Twitter. I don't think there's one or two people I know that follow me on Twitter and that I follow on Twitter. But outside of that, I'm only on Twitter just to talk football, guys. Okay, cool. So we have our guest that's about to hop on. It's going to be a good time, guys. I'm going to give him a minute to get his video and stuff figured out, but very fun. It should be a great time, guys. I'm going to bring him on. So here is our guest, Sione Motua Puwaka. How are you doing today, man? Did I say the name right?
Nah, it's Sione Motua Puaka.
All right, cool. The sad thing is I still think I was pretty close, but probably it's in my mind. How are you doing tonight, man?
I'm blessed. I'm good. I'm doing good. How are you?
You guys practice still right now, or is practice?
Yeah, we are in practice, yeah.
That's awesome, man. Just so you guys, if you don't know, Sione, I won't even try it, but Sione is he's from Bishop Gorman, which, if you guys don't know, is one of the premier football schools in Vegas. I am from Vegas, so I'm aware. My brother played football in Vegas. I played football in Vegas, so it is an awesome deal to have you on, man, and it is an awesome deal to have you being a Ute. Anything you want to tell the people about yourself before we dive into the questions?
I'm going into my senior year as a 4-year starter at Bishop Gorman. I'm a defensive lineman, and I play for Bishop Gorman. Go Utes.
Go Utes, baby. Okay, awesome, man. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. And if you guys appreciate him coming on, please make sure you like the video. Also, comment, let him know that you like it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Sione, why don't you tell us a little bit about the recruitment process? Who was the main person recruiting you? Who did you feel like you had the best connection with from Utah?
My recruiting process started when I would say, an incoming freshman
Wow.
before Bishop Gorman. And that's when I got my offer to the University of Utah from Coach Lewis Powell. And I'd say I would have a strong connection with him just because it developed over years, just talking with him and then visiting Utah every now and then, watching the spring games and stuff.
Cool. That's awesome, man. You feel like he's the guy to develop you into just an animal in college?
Yeah, not only an animal, but as a man too.
Yeah, awesome, man. Very cool. And so you said they offered you before you got to Gorman, but when did the conversation start? When did you first feel like Utah came on the radar for you during your football career?
I would say after the semifinals of my freshman year before the championship. It was just because at first I didn't announce it because I guess there was like some rules and stuff with that.
Yeah.
So like when I first announced it, it just kind of like everything just hit me. So it was just crazy. It was a crazy feeling. It was a
That's
blessing.
awesome, man.
Sure.
I'm sure. Well, and I love the tape, man. And I saw you guys. It's funny. A lot of your highlights were against Corner Canyon, weren't they?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because you're going to be a lot of guys from that Corner Canyon team are coming into this class with you.
Yep.
So very cool.
Excited.
That's awesome, man. And when was the moment that you decided Utah was a school? What clicked? I know you said you had the relationship with Lewis Powell, but I'm sure at some point there was something in the decision-making process where you were like, all right, let's go ahead and do it. Utah's a school.
Yeah. So when I took my OV a couple of weeks ago, and the first day I got there, I just prayed about it and like just asked God to reveal if this is for me, right? I want to be in a place where there's a sense of family because there's nothing better than that. Like with a locker room full of guys, you want everyone to like everyone, right? You don't want there to be cliques and this corner clicks in that corner or anything like that. And also nowadays, you want a stable coaching staff, like a coaching staff that won't leave for X amount of dollars just because the transfer portal and stuff is there and opportunities like that are open to them. And that's a talk I had with them when they came to Gorman, I think during my spring ball.
Okay.
I
Was
think
that before your junior year?
this was this
Oh, this
like
past spring
this
ball. Sorry.
a couple
Yeah.
months ago. Yeah, they came down and watched us practice and stuff, which was great catching up with them. And I had that talk with them, and they just let me know that none of them are going anywhere. Their families are out there; they're happy where they're at, and if you're happy where you're at, then there's no point in leaving.
Dude, that is so awesome to hear. And I think that's kind of a lot of us Utah fans. That's why we're so committed to the team because it is the players that go there, just like you, they're going for the right reasons. The coaches that
Yep.
are there, they're going for the right reasons. That's awesome, man.
Sure.
So let's talk about you on the field, man. Has Utah told you where you're going to be playing? I know you said you play D line. Is it they looking at you more interior D line or maybe as a DN? What are we talking about?
Interiorly, yeah.
Cool.
Coach
And
Ellis.
And just to follow up on that, I mean, that's a pretty awesome interior D line room that you're heading into, right? Obviously, some of them could be gone by the time you actually get there. But anyone, I know I didn't send you this one beforehand, but anyone specific in that room right now that you're excited to learn from?
If he's still there, probably Junior. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
Tafuna.
guy's a dog, man.
That's awesome. I figured you'd say that. But honestly, dude, I've covered this team so much. I watch all the PFF grades, I break it all down. There are a lot of other good D linemen in there too. So even if he's gone, man, there'll be some other
I think his
guys.
name is Sione too.
Yeah, Keanu Tanuvasa, he's a
Yeah, the
beast.
dog
He's a
too, man.
monster. Yeah. So, all right, next. And then is there anyone in the NFL or college that you model your game after that you look up to, you try to learn stuff from?
I can't say model my game after because, you know, it's a big shoes to fill. But I say Aaron Donald. You know, that's just someone I always
Yeah.
look towards because of the under height thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, just watch him all the time. I watch a lot of his college film too. Such a downhill player.
Yeah, I
Everything.
watched. I
Old.
saw some highlights surfacing the other day of his Senior Bowl highlights, where he just like that's when you knew he was going
Killing,
to be a top 15 pick. Yeah, he was
killing
just
everybody.
murdering people. Yeah,
Killing.
that's awesome, man. That's a. I mean, if you're going to pick someone, like if you're a corner, pick Darrell Revis, right? If you're a D tackle, pick pick Aaron Donald.
Yes,
So
sir.
awesome, man. And then, so tell us about your time at Bishop Gorman. I think that's super interesting, man. You're coming from a program that I and a lot of people believe to be one of the best football programs, not just in Vegas, but not just even on the West Coast, but the entire country. It really is that type of program. How do you think Bishop Gorman has set you up for success at the next level? If you can give us any insight on that, we'd love to hear it.
Education wise, I think they set me up very well because, man, it honestly is a really tough school to be at because
Yeah.
there's already a standard set there when you get there. You're
Mhm.
expected to get to class early. Like we probably have like 5 minutes to get to our next class, even if it's across campus. And
Uh-huh.
for people that know, our campus is huge. But like with assignments and stuff like that, and not only that, but like the teaching level is just different. It's different. They hold themselves to a different standard than they do to other schools in the valley. And then athletic wise, I say very well. You know, we're all humble. We're taught to be humble, but we're also taught to grind. You know, and when we step out there, you know, our coaches just want to make sure that we're able to go further than the other team. We're able to go deeper than the other team is. You know, and one thing they stress on us out there is hard work and discipline. That's really the main thing, and also unity within the boys, the locker room. Not only with the locker room, but with the coaches too. You know, everyone's close, everyone's brothers, everyone's family. You know,
That's awesome, man. It sounds like that's Utah is going to be really similar for you
exactly.
transitioning. And I love that you're looking at it that way because college, I think we all from the outside, we get so excited about you guys as football players, but college is such a new experience for you
Yeah,
guys that it
yeah,
is good. Yeah, have that stable environment because it can be a wild time. It should be fun, but the stable environment will help. Now, I like to hear you're thinking about that. There's a quick question from Brian Ankrum here. I might as well throw it up on the screen. What would you consider your biggest strength? Do you think it's pass rushing, run stopping? Either one of those stand out for you?
I'd say I'm pretty like good at both. But you know, there's always room for improvement. But one thing I feel like that sets apart is since I'm already like a little under height, I'm already naturally leveraged. And
Yeah.
on top of that, my get off. You know, I'd say my get off is probably the one of the strongest thing part of my game.
When you're playing, this is for me as we're talking about it. Do you feel like when you're on the field, is your height a disadvantage, or do you
Oh no,
actually feel like it's an
no,
advantage? Cool.
I feel
That's
the same
awesome. So you feel
because
like
I'm
it's a
already under them.
positive.
Yeah, I'm already under them, and if they want to get under me, I'm already making them doing something they're not used to. They're not
Yeah, their
comfortable.
shoulder
So if
pads
you
are
want
in
to
their
come down
face
there,
by the time. Yeah.
yeah, if you want to come down there, all right, come on, come meet me, come on.
That's awesome, man. Very cool. And so Bishop Gorman, like I said, is super prestigious school. Can you tell us about the process that actually got you there? Like you said, you were being recruited as a very young player. How did you wind up at Bishop Gorman?
So I winded up at Bishop Gorman through. So I played for my youth football team in eighth grade. I played for Vegas Strong, and our head coach at the time was Philip Faoa, and so he was coaching us there, and he was also a coach for Bishop Gorman.
Okay.
So like as he was coaching us there, he would like talk to us about coming to Gorman and stuff. But at the time, COVID did come, so majority of my class did reclass because we didn't want to miss out on an opportunity because of COVID. So he would always
Okay.
just like be in our ears about it, just like And that Gorman got the blueprint already. The blueprint set over there. You just gotta come in, grind, and trust the process.
That's awesome, man. And so, obviously, Utah has been getting a decent amount of players from Gorman.
Hmm.
Considering Utah is the closest, I don't know how to say this. I didn't put it in the text, but then I realized I was technically wrong. It's not the closest, but the closest really good P4 school
Oh yeah,
to Bishop Gorman. Is it a pretty sought after school among the room? Is it a place where a lot of people hope to go from
yeah.
Gorman?
Honestly, after I committed, that's when I really seen it. I had even some like transfers and like incoming freshmen that we got. They were like, "Dang, bro, Utah. I really love to go there one day. Can you tell me about more about the place and about the
That's sick.
coaches? Any coaches I should try to reach out to and stuff." So it was just great seeing that. But I also know that I have a former teammate that I played with freshman sophomore year, Jonah Leah over there, and some
Yeah,
of the other guys in his class, graduating class, like Utah was in their top 10 and top 5.
that's awesome,
So
man.
Utah's always a program that we look at for sure.
I love to hear that, man. I appreciate you giving us some insight on that. Well, that's all the questions I had for you, but you've been awesome, man. You are an educated
Thank
young man, and you're going to feel like you're going to be an asset to this team. I'm excited to see you out there.
you.
Do you have anything else you want to touch on or say to the fans before you get out of here?
Thank you for having me. God is good, and go Utes.
Go Utes, baby. Have a good one, Sione. Thanks for coming
You
on,
too.
man.
Thank
Awesome, guys. I am super impressed with that kid. That was awesome. You could tell he's not just a very good football player playing at a very good school. But just so you guys know, I didn't go to Bishop Gorman, but I do have friends that went to Bishop Gorman, and I have heard things about the academics that he touched on, that it is not an easy school to go to. And I can't imagine they have any lower standard player or standard for the football team. And I think he kind of addressed that. Yeah. And Larry says, great character. Seriously, great character. And I love that he knew about the team. He knew who the guys were going in there that he wants to learn from. I liked him a lot, dude. That was an awesome kid. So if you guys enjoyed that, make sure you smash the like button. Also comment down below. What did you guys think of Sione? And then also, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, we put out a ton of Utah Utes football content. We're doing live streams every Thursday and videos when recruiting drops. So it should be a ton of fun. So make sure you guys stay tuned with the channel. We're going to go ahead and dive into some of the recruits that are going to be visiting this weekend next, or this coming weekend. One of them is coming tomorrow, and then two of them are coming the day after. Michael says, excited for Sione. Awesome kid. He's going to fit in great. Yeah, it really felt like he was coming to Utah. Like, it didn't feel like he was just saying that, right? It felt like he was really coming to Utah for all the freaking right reasons. Seems like a cool kid. Okay, well, let's go ahead and take a look at the upcoming visits. So it's funny that, speaking of upcoming visits, I always tell you guys that I'm from Vegas. Well, guess where one of this weekend's recruits is from? JJ Buchanan is from Henderson, Nevada. And if you guys want a little insight about me, that's where I went to high school. So when I say I'm from Vegas, I went to Coronado High School, just like this kid. So he, not only is he coming to visit Utah, he's actually from the same high school I went to. I'm sure he's significantly better at football than I was, but he is from the same high school. So very fun there. JJ Buchanan, very tall, 6'4", 200 pounds. Seems like a guy for Utah that could be a super versatile tool, and a guy that definitely, from what I understand, and he is someone Utah wants, from what I'm hearing. Very excited to see that guy come in. Next, we've got Cyrus Polu, another linebacker. Am I the only one that is just shocked? Christian Thatcher, Max Fenoy Moana. Utah is just racking up the linebackers, trying to get as many as freaking possible. I think that's a really good sign, and I think that's really, you think about it, we could have two linebackers gone this year, two really good linebackers gone this year, and there's a good chance we have three. Let's be real about that, right? Well, I think we're more likely than not, we have three linebackers gone this year. So it makes sense why we're loading up at linebacker, and I like to see us continuously addressing that. And we're getting some good young kids. I guess I haven't touched on that in this video. I made a recruiting video about Christian Thatcher. If you guys haven't seen that, when we're done here with the stream, give it a look. Christian Thatcher is awesome. He looks really good, really athletic. He was clocked at over 21 miles per hour on the football field. Very, very impressive. Okay, and then we also have Wyatt Becker. So Wyatt is already committed to Utah, and here he's listed as a 3-star, but just so you guys know, other places have him as a 4-star. He is very good, a really live arm. When he needs to launch it downfield, he is absolutely capable and more than able to make huge plays happen. So he's a guy I'm pretty excited about. KS says Thatcher is a dog. Glad he chose Utah. Zenith says Thatcher looks really damn impressive. I feel the exact same way, guys. And he was another guy that made a little video for the channel just shouting us out. So that was super cool too. Super fun kid to work with. Just so you guys know, a guy I would love to get on here one day. Super cool kid. If he ever wants to come on, he's got an open invite on the channel, which all Utah players do if that's not already clear, right? So a ton of fun, guys. And we got another big weekend of recruiting. I'm about to get out of here. I appreciate your guys' time tonight. Make sure you smash that like button. Also, comment down below. It'd be really cool if you guys are on Twitter. Tag the channel and tag a player you would love for us to have on here, and maybe they'll want to come on. That'd be cool. And then also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, guys. I'm out of here. Thank you so much for your time this evening, guys, and go Utes.